Hi, Abdul. This is David Potter. I'm just going to mess around with your plan. I made the terrain plane a little bit smaller. I don't see the point in making it huge, but perhaps you do. But I'm just doing this for grins. And see, you got a road going this way and a road going that way. And the main road in this paint picture you did is parallel to those garden beds. So I would assume one road runs this way and then another one runs that way, similar to this picture that you sent me. Oh, not that picture. Yeah, this one. Of course, I don't have the exact orientation. But anyway, like I showed in the prior video, I think I would set things up a little bit more actual. I'm going to open the terrain specification dialog, go to the materials tab. I'm going to change these materials on the, click on the wrong thing. Library material. There we go. I didn't see much grass in your picture. Perhaps one day there'll be grass. But under the landscaping, I would just use sand and soil for now. Excuse me. I think I'm going to use this material for the roads and until you get paved roads. And we'll just use this for the, I don't know, that looks pretty much like the picture, like this or this. That. And just make the terrain skirt the same thing. See what I should have paid attention to what the name was now to find it again. It's dirt. Yeah, there we go. I don't mean anything by it. That's just what I see in the picture. Yeah, this picture. It's mainly it's more of a reddish dirt, but I don't think that's all that important. So, all right. This is all that I've done so far. Just change that material on the skirt. Yeah. For better or worse, that looks more like the part of Somalia where you live. Now the road tool, I'll go over to, terrain, road. It's pretty straightforward. And I think your roads are straight, so I'm going to just use the straight road tool. Now, let me think about that, because this, I'll just draw a road in here. I just left-clicked and drag after I selected that tool. Show you what this looks like. It looks like an American road because it's an American software. So it's going to have a concrete curb, and which sets in, steps down a little bit. I don't think that's totally terrible, but the material. Here's the adjust material tool. What's on it by default is blacktop, like asphalt, like we have all over the place in the United States. I'm just going to set it to to a little bit different material that looks more like the roads that you actually have. And we'll set this asphalt stuff to, I keep clicking on the plan material. It's not in the plan material yet. Click on the library material. Excuse me. We'll go over to landscape. And it's going to be under sand and soil. I'm going to use this material here for the road. And you don't have curbs, so I'm just going to set the, there's no point in having the curbs stand out all that much. I'll have them, tell you what, I'll put the curb with that other color of dirt. I think I used, a little bit lighter color. Anyway, so there's a road. And it's pretty straightforward. You just click on it, and you can, you pull it off the terrain plane, it just disappears. So you have one road going by your property this way. We'll zoom back a little bit. And click on that road, make a copy, and put another copy in there. This copy here, I'm hitting the wrong buttons. This copy here, the tab key is what I need to hit. Tab, yeah. See, there's a rotate handle here, and we'll just rotate it. There's your two roads. Some of this might make more sense in plan view than it does in a camera view. But we'll take this over here, put it next to your property. Well, maybe I need to swing that thing around. Yeah, I needed a move handle down here. Okay. And when I put it end to end, of course, it just snapped to it and put little curves in it and so forth. So there's your roads. That's pretty straightforward. Of course, it's easy for me because I've done this for almost 20 years. And I don't even have to think about it. And if you want to change some of this stuff to grass in here, eventually you want to see this with grass and not the dirt, then just do you can use some of these objects that you put in here, like this strip here. I think it's a terrain path. Okay, just change the material to grass. Get the G key for grass. Grass, grass, there. Put a little grass in there. Okay. But you're not going to start out with a lot of grass and a lot of trees. Trees take a long time to grow, years. And you probably want to get some kind of trees that will flourish in your climate and on not very much water. I know trees here in Texas that grow really fast, and a lot of the builders and developers use them here are called Arizona ash, but I don't know if an Arizona ash tree would do very well in Somalia. But that's data that you can look up and find out about. And you can get advice from agronomists. Well, you know, people who know about plants, and like at your universities and so forth, there'll be people there that'll be able to advise you as to what'll grow well. But in terms of the roads, I think that's about it. That's fairly simple. Just put a couple of road objects in there, and these objects, you can make them less wide or more wide as you need. It says, looking at your email, and there's nothing wrong with you using a picket fence here. It just doesn't look like what you have, and I can't imagine that you would tear that stone wall down. Stone wall's nice, you know. But if you want to draw a stone wall, you could just use one of these objects here like this and make it a stone wall, like I showed in the other video. Just take that and tell it to, yeah, see, it's just, right now it's got a 1-inch height. Your fences look like they're 42 inches tall. And we'll make the fence looks like it's about 30 inches wide. And then set the material to the, excuse me, stone. Stack stone, yeah, stack stone. And you know, there's a brick wall. You could use this to replace your fence with, but that's up to you. And oh, in terms of making a fence, now that's a little bit more advanced. I'm sorry, I meant tent. You said tent. Let me just show you how a way you can do a tent. I'm going to use an elevation camera. And in this case, I'm just going to use a backclick camera. The backclick camera just shows you where you left click to where you release the mouse. See that little bracket there? That's all the part of the model I'm going to see. See, there's the road there, and then I'm just going to zoom in here close. Now, like I said, this is a little advanced, and what I need to be in two-dimensional toolbars, yeah, there it is, CAD configuration. And I'm going to draw a closed polyline. That's a closed polyline. It's just a polyline is one or two or more lines that are connected. And in this case, we have a 4-line polyline object. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm just going to make this 1/8 of an inch thick. Now, in the United States, we use imperial measurements, inches, feet, yards. You may be more used to, yeah, that's right, you're a metric guy. I don't know what that would be in millimeters, but I'm just going to make a skinny object here and turn it. See, I'm in this elevation camera, and I'm going to turn this object to about the angle of a tent. Now, I'm just going to make a simple, what we would call in the U.S. A pup tent, like for one person or two persons, and it's just a delta. And I'm going to take this two-dimensional. Let's see, right now this is a two-dimensional object. I go back to plan view, and you can't see anything because I haven't. This is just a two-dimensional object. I'm going to click on it, and then you'll notice in the edit toolbar there's a convert polyline tool. Here's the edit toolbar, and whatever's selected, the commands in the edit toolbar are for that selected object. So I'm going to convert it, left click, and then from this menu here, I'm going to change it to a polyline solid. Polyline, again, I explained that before, is just two or more connected lines. In this case, I need a closed polyline, so I've got basically a very skinny four-lined object. I'm going to convert it to a polyline solid and click OK. And then this dialog asks me how thick I want to make it. And the thickness in this case is in plan view. I'm going to make it 10 feet long, 120 inches. I don't know what that is in centimeters. And go over to the Materials tab and set the material to some kind of cloth. Go to Library Materials. And the fabric, I'm going to go to the fabric part. Yeah, fabric and wall coverings. And find something. Look at woven. Nah, that's a little bit too cute for a tent. How about textured? No, not stripes. I'm not going to use stripes. Now, I don't think I use leather and hide. This is not very homespun looking. Let me find something that looks appropriate for a tent. That'd be a pretty fancy looking tent, wouldn't it? Well, that looks all right. Yeah, we'll just use this parchment material. That's our material for this 1/8 of an inch thick object that I made. That's 10 feet. It's 10 feet in plan view. There's the object I made right there. Let me move that over in front of the camera. Go back to the camera. I'm hitting Control-Tab to go back to the camera, by the way. There it is. I had to zoom back to find it because I moved it. Okay, so there's 1/2 of the tent. Now I'm going to go over here to plan view and copy this object. Copy in place. So there's two objects there now. I'm going to reverse this one and then move it over to the right. And so now we have two sides of the tent. So there's the tent. And once a really long, narrow tent, and I guess 10 feet's a little bit much. Let's make it 8 feet. 8 feet. Okay, I'll look at it in an isometric camera. You'll see there, well, that's a tent. Not a very fancy tent, but it's a tent. There it is right there. You can make simple custom objects like that using polyline solids. You would commonly create a polyline solid in a camera view, like I just did. And then this isn't the only way you could make one. I could also, let me go back to this camera here. I'll make another one right by it. I'm going to, again, go to Box Tools and this rectangular polyline tool and draw a polyline. And click on the polyline, and using the break line tool, I'm going to break these lines up. See, I broke this line that was one line into two lines, and then make this into a triangle like that. I've got this bottom of my triangle below the dirt. Let's put it on top of the dirt. Come on, get over there. Okay, I want to equilateral this triangle up some. I'm just demonstrating, so you can be very careful with this and get it perfect, but I'm just messing around, showing you some possibilities. I'm going to put a break down here and a break over here, and then one more break in the center. This bottom line, I broke it up into a bunch of lines so I could do this. So now I still have a closed polyline. Excuse me. And we'll pull that over. Whoops, that's too far. I'm using my control key to get to a little bit finer control over my mouse movement. Let's shape that over there like that. That's close enough. It's not very pretty and it's not symmetric and so forth, but we're just showing off. Okay, but this is still a closed polyline. All of these lines are connected that you see selected there. When you open the dialog, you go over to the polyline tab of this object, and you can see that it's showing an area. It's not very much of an area, and that's because it's a closed polyline. In order to change this into a solid, it needs to be closed. So I'm going to convert it. Select polyline solid as the type. 3D molding polylines I'm not going to get into. They're very specialized and they're not very good for making tints. So we'll click OK. See, I get the same dialog. I'm going to set this to that parchment. So I hit P key, and okay, just took me to the P's. There's parchment. And then how long do I want my tint? You know, okay, we'll make it 7 feet this time. Okay, and go back to see, there's the other tint. So there's my two-part tint right there, made of two separate objects. And then here's, well, I can't get it for the tree. Let me get a little different angle on it. It's over there behind that tree. I can't select it. I'll tell you what, I'll just turn the trees off. I'm not going to delete them. I think it's under plants. Yeah, we'll just turn the plants off. They're in the way. They're still there. I just turned them off. Anyway, there's my second tint. You can see that's one object. So there's two different ways to make a tint using a polyline solid tool. And you can make fancier things in this, but that's a very simple tint. Okay? So it's getting late here in Texas. Almost midnight. But I thought I'd dash this off and run it by you and see if that didn't help you some. Okay? So that's the end of this tutorial. I'll email you this file back, and I'll put the video on my YouTube channel. Okay? I'm going to turn plants back on. See, I didn't delete them. I just turned them off. Voila. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.